Hey guys, we're getting ready to put in the new flooring. So the first step is to align it and check on all the ends if it's not going to be too short on one end. So I laid it out. They're both 12 inches, the old one and the new one, but the new one doesn't have the grout lines. So the grout line is like a 1/4 inch. So after a while, I see it adds up. It shifts over the spot. So I would say this by the end is a little bit too short. So the question is, we're going to move it over. We're also going to try to line it with the rest of the house, with the counters and the wall further ahead. So we'll try to line it and see which position is going to be, if we should shift a little bit more to this side or to that side. And the reason we're replacing this old floor, it's actually not so old, it's just a few years. I made a video on it. These have these grooves, okay, and these grooves lets you have all the dirt get stuck in there. Well, so this is a tile that I still have as spare. It wasn't used. Look how nice and whatever beige it is. Look how nice this one is, and look how black this one is. So when you get tiles, avoid getting tiles that have deep grooves. Okay, that's my nail going through it. Versus this one. No, this is actually nice a little rough to it, which I like, but it's not too smooth, so it could be slippery. This does have a little roughness on it. But this one just has deep grooves, and it's just all the dirt going in there. Same with grout lines. If you see anywhere grout lines, after a while, grout lines get black, and no matter if you put light or dark grout lines, it'll always change to black after a while. So before I start working on the tiles, I like to separate the tiles between the darker ones and the lighter ones. So here I made the biggest pile with the darker ones, and then less and less, so I could put the nicer, darker tiles in the center. Anywhere that's missing the underlayment for the flooring, like this new location, or if I ripped up the old underlayment, I had to put a new one. So first I put it down and just staple it down so it shouldn't move around. Just a few staples just to keep it in place. And the weight of the subflooring will keep it down. So it doesn't have to be, screwed down strong. So the first step over here by installing the tiles is I have this island over here that's in the middle. So I have to work around it. And the click tiles you could only follow from one direction. So first I cut around all the tiles to be in the shape that I needed. And then I'll start over here, and I'm gonna start with a few lines of tiles to make a straight line. The flooring should be straight over here. And after this, I'll follow the rest of the flooring to try to coordinate to follow the same layout of this first line of tiles. So this is my first line, the straight line, and after this line, I'll follow everything after this to follow the same direction. So I have this template. I made a line where half the high tile is. This is my half tile. I got over my template that I made, so I could have all the center lines from each tile to be in center. Also, because it's like steps, so you have to make every second line. The line should follow the next one. So I made a template to make sure every line is going to be the line coordinated with the 2 rows down. So it shall be nice and straight. Then I'm continuing over here with the tiles. I'm going to try to go around the island. It seems like I'm having over here some difficulties with some tiles. This is before I knew that some tiles are defective tiles and they're not straight. I'm having a hard time over here finding out what is going on with these tiles. It doesn't seem to be clicking right. Checking back and forth, checking a different location. Is it the tiles? Did I not make a straight line? And this took some time till I realized that, yep, in 2025 you can still have a manufacturer that manufactures tiles that is not straight. Imagine that. Over here I'm taking some pictures of the defective tiles, seeing that it's just not straight. You gotta record the evidence. I also actually had my kids install the tiles the first two rows, and they were having a hard time. And I'm like, why is it so hard for somebody to click together some tiles? Like, why are they struggling? What's their problem? I mean, it's only clicking together tiles, and then here I am, struggling myself, trying to figure out what is going on. I tried one tile, then I got another tile, and I think I finally found the problem. And it was a bad tile. Went and installed a new tile and got rid of the bad one. And now I can continue my job, continue working. You gotta sometimes click it, bang it down a little bit to click it in, should straighten out. Just gonna continue showing how I'm going around the island, because this was the main difficult thing. The rest should just click together and that's it. Every time I try to use this metal piece to cut straight to score the tile, it would move all the time. So I decided to take a full tile, put all my weight on it, then I could keep it in place, score the tile straight down, it wouldn't slide or anything, and then there would be a nice straight cut. Since this is a small end piece, you need a tool to break it off. Can't use your bare hands. And now we're installing that little piece in the corner. And then we're continuing to the next line. So here I got my template to make sure I'm getting the tile in the halfway through the next tile. Make sure it's going to go straight. Now I got to measure the rest of that corner piece to make sure it's going to be the right size. And it was cut. And then now I have to install it. And then from there we continue to the rest of the line. I'll try to make sure everything goes straight. I'm just showing, I'm going to show all the way around the island, because that is the most difficult area to try to get straight. And make sure that there's no dirt on the floor. Basically make sure all the dirt is away, so it shouldn't be any bumps. It will cause issues later on. Just make sure it's nice and straight and flat without any dirt. Any dirt, sweep it off and get rid of it. I'm going to try to continue to go around the island. And we'll try to pull the small pieces against the big tiles, and not push the big tiles against the island, because then it'll make it crooked. So I'll try to make this line straight and then pull the rest of it against these tiles to make sure it's all gonna be straight. Although by the end of the day, I still have to connect it by the end to around the island, so it'll automatically straighten out a little bit. These tiles have a little slight shift space that, you could, if we have many tiles, a long line, you could shift it a little bit. It'll shift a little bit, so that I think will helps around the island, that you could be you're able to shift the tile just a smidge. So regarding that, I think that helps to be able to go around spaces and then connect them. So I got around the island. Now I'm continuing around this way. Make sure it's all going straight, connecting all the tiles. I'm continuing around the other side of the island, continuing with my first line. It was the straight line. Now I'm trying to finish it to continue around the island and keep it all straight. I don't know if you could see, but when I tried to put together the two lines, the two rows, I put pressure again. I put my pressure onto the tiles that's by the island, and now I got close to this end of the island, so now I'm connecting it to make sure it's all coming in nice and straight and it's all connecting. So this was the final around the island connection tile. Everything after this should work out. We just branch it out to all the four corners and continue from there on. But this was the main difficult thing, to make sure it's all going to click together and get straight. I'm putting all the pressure on that tile. When I knock in the full tile, it shouldn't move the floor. So I tried to keep the tiles around the island where it is, stationary. And then I'm knocking the other tile after my weight is on those tiles, so it shouldn't move over. So now I could say that around the island is complete. It all clicked up together, and now we can continue the rest of the flooring. Now I'm going to show how I measure my tiles and how I cut them. So if you don't need to cut fully through the tile, so first you take the saw and you cut in a little bit, and then the rest you score, and then you snap it, off. This is the old tile. It's nice and clean. Now we'll score the rest and snap it. No. Okay. So this is my cut pieces. Put them in angles. I put them in the bottom of the tile, left of the tile, top, right. And this is if I need any pieces for corners or tops and bottoms. I'll have the layout. I could easily check. So I have for the right side, for the left side, the bottom, the top. So that's my layout. We have a tile that you need to cut in a weird corner that's not straight through. Best thing would be to bring up the tile against it, make your measurements, line it up, see if it'll be the same shape after you're done with the cuts, and then it'll be a nice cut tile. More towards the end, I realized that it's easier if I would have a ruler to take my measurements. It's more accurate. So over here I took a ruler and I did a lot of tiles like that. All my tiles came out much cleaner with a ruler. Maybe that's a better way for you to make nice clean cuts for the tiles. Okay, so I cut over here, scored this part, scored that part with this. Have it flush. Okay, here goes the shoe molding, so we're good with that. A little more than I wanted, but it's going to be too tight. This is just enough. See, this one is more straight. Still not straight. See over there, it's supposed to be exactly even. That's not even. Okay, now to click. Now that is exactly even. That's how it's supposed to look. Showing you one example of a tile, how you're supposed to install it to be perfectly aligned. like this, all these click tiles, they should all click in nice together, and you should be able to install it nicely. If it's off just a little bit, it could throw off all the tiles, all the alignment, and then the tiles won't click, and they'll move out of place.
This is not flush. Okay, that just clicked. Now it's all straight. Now it's straight on all ends. That's how it's supposed to be.
Showing you over here how to install a tile on the end. This one you put in. Use a pry bar to force it into the click. You can't pick it up too much because of the cabinet. So you need to have a pry bar for this. And you just heard it click.
So if it's hard to pick it up sometimes, you can use a scrap piece of tile and put it into the groove. So this one has the other side groove. Put it into the groove, and then you can knock on this one. And then knocks it into the groove.
The rest of the video, I'll just show you all the defective or crooked tiles.
You got another bad tile. See, it's straight over here against the tile.
Okay.
Straight over here against the tile.
Okay.
I'm blocking the light on this side.
Okay.
And over here, it's going crooked. See, it's coming over here, and here's. But this is all squared.
That's like the fifth
But
tile.
this is not.
6.
6, 7 now.
I got over here some bad ones. So this should be, this one is, I think, straight. So this one I marked bad. You'll see, I put it in here. So you can see this is straight here. This one is not too bad, but it's enough to make the whole. There's a space, but this is nice and straight. That was a bad tile. It's messing up stuff. Don't assume that all your tiles are good. We'll try some more. I'll show you some more examples. That was a bad one. Let's see if you put on this side. Put on this side. Harder to detect maybe. So you would try to push it in, but there's extra space. Let's try another bad one. So when you put it against each other, this one is a bigger gap, so this one is even worse. So you can see that gap. So that's a huge gap. I went back to the store, they gave me a little credit for it. It's still a lot of, this one's also bad. So you can see all these are bad. When you try to go to the next one, it throws off the whole thing. So look how bad that is. So don't assume all your tiles are good. Okay? They have to be 100% aligned.
This concludes the video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.